What's up, players? Welcome to the Nasty Soul channel. Today we're vibing on another quarantine session by Misch, the Wilhelm scream. And if you're wondering what that is, it's a famous sound effect used since the 50s in cinema, and it sounds like this. But the song is much more soothing than that. So let's vibe on all the different layers that he does to loop, the chords, the melody, the bass line, all that jazz, even throw a little solo on top. If you want to follow along with the interactive tab, check us out on Patreon. Here we go, baby. So here we are in the key of G major, and we're going to start with the C major 7 chord. Looks just like that. And then we're going to go to this cool E minor 7 chord, where it's like we're playing a G major triad right here, with the E in the bass, the open E string. Hey, so that's nice. And if we wanted to make it like a if we wanted to make it like a minor 9 sound, all we would do is continue that bar and bring out that note. But it sounds like he's just plucking up to that G string right there. So we go from our C major 7 to our E minor 7. Go back to our C major 7. And we take the same exact shape and we bring it down to G major 7 here on the 3rd fret. If you're not familiar with this chord shape, it's basically what people call a shell chord, because it's the minimum amount of notes you could have to really say that it's a major 7 chord. You have the root, you have the major 7 and the major 3rd, which are the only 3 notes you need to make it a major 7 sound. All right? So that's cool right there. We go from there. And then we do this little movement where we grab just the root and the 3rd on the low E string and the G string, and we jump up to this F chord, and it's going to play these 3 notes right here. And then we're going to go down these chords ba, ba, to E minor, same strings, A, D, and B, to our D major, same strings, and then to our C chord. Right, that's our little movement. Ba, ba, ba. And then we continue picking it, and then we resolve to this G chord, which is kind of like an open voicing of a regular G major chord. Our root, our 5th, and our 3rd on the on the E, A, and G string. Cool, cool, cool. So that's our whole chord progression. And if we look at the thing, like written down and everything, there is a little bit of a weird time signature in there. It's 8 measures, and every measure's 4/4, except for that last one. There's like this extra beat in there. And it kind of comes out of this weird syncopation that's created from this movement when we go from G to F to E minor. And we'll talk about that in a second. But let's look at this simple picking pattern, all right? So we got our C major 7 chord. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just plucking it and going back and forth between the D and the G. And the same thing with this one. On the E minor, instead of grabbing the D and the G, and going back to this A string. All right, so let's see what we got. All money, same exact pattern for our G major 7 chord, and then we got our movement. Now, just playing that is pretty easy, right? You just grab the chord on the right strings and boom, you got it. But the timing is the funny part. So this comes in, the G comes in on the downbeat of 1. So there is an extra little 8th note on that G, which feels a little bit weird. So it already starts off kind of funny like that. Now the trick to this is to see if you can count it while playing it to really lock it in and know exactly what you're trying to do. So if I do it slow, it's going to be like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And some of the things I think about to help me nail down this feel and this rhythm is where the downbeats are. So on the E minor and the C, those are the strong downbeats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. After I get this rhythm down, I'm going to continue on with my picking on the C chord, going between the B and the D string. Do that 4 times, then I continue right here. There's going to be 8 times, basically. And that's my whole first loop of just our chords and our picking pattern. Now we add our second loop, and it's really, really simple, just adds a little bit more extra texture and harmony to it. I start by plucking the B string, the 8th fret of the B string, just on upbeats. And 2, and 3, and 4, and... And then I go down to the 7th fret, do the same thing. And again, just another whole 2 measures of that. On the 8th fret, 1, and 2. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Right? And then when we hit those chords going across the neck, I'm actually going to play this G triad for most of them. So I stay on that G for a little bit. And then I go up to this D triad, barring across the 10th fret and grabbing the 11th fret of the G string. And getting this E minor triad right there, just across the 12th. Yeah. And then I'm going to continue with this little picking pattern, going between the E and the B. And I go down, barring the 7th fret. It's a B minor triad, but over a G bass, it makes that major 7 sound. So we got this. Beautiful. All right, so then we grab our pick, and we start this melody with an E minor pentatonic scale. Right, just going across, we find our 5th string root pentatonic scale, and we bring it up, just like that. Play it again. And we just add a little bit more to the ending there. Going across the B string. And then we go to this position on our 5th fret. Wait a little bit. And for this very last lick, we bar across the 3rd fret. So I let that high E string keep ringing. And then I continue my melody. Second time around, he adds this little note right here, 15 to 14. Yeah. And another small variation, pull off from 7 to 5, slide down to 3. And same little lick again. Really simple, nice little melody. And we lay that down those 2 different times. First time play it through, second time with a little bit of extra variation. And then we kick on that octave pedal, get that low bassy sound, and we're gonna vibe this. Let's see here. Boom. And we're basically just gonna hit our root notes, right? We start off with our C on the 3rd fret. And then we jump into our E. Right, I'm gonna hammer on the D string to the 2nd fret, which is our E, and get that low E. And then I'm gonna do just this little walk up. 2, 3, open, 2nd fret of the A string, and back to our C note. Yep, and then just continuing on with the root notes. 3rd fret for the G, and we make our hits. Up to the 10th fret for our D note, 8th fret for a C, and resolve to the 3rd fret on our G. That's a little bass line, and then we can continue and play the melody again, solo, do whatever you want in the key of E minor, and it'll just sound so beautiful, man. There we go, baby. So that's our song, and if you like learning these quarantine sessions, check out all the other videos. I basically did a video on every single one, and if you want the tab for each of these, check me out on Patreon. I have an interactive tab that goes along with my lessons, so you could see it along with the lesson and just learn at your own pace, and then have the full tab for the song. afterwards as well. So check that out. And if you want to learn a little bit more about neo-soul guitar, check out my neo-soul guitar book. You can learn more about it right there. And of course, keep jamming and stay nasty.